Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, how do I sell my Magic cards? We've all been in this situation. You just cracked a pack and jumped out of your seat because your rare is worth $30. But you did not actually open $30 until you sell the card. But how do you do this? Selling Magic cards is a daunting process, with many different options that can yield many different results, and each with their own pros and cons. So how do you sell your Magic the Gathering cards? Whether selling one card, a dozen, or maybe a good chunk of your collection, this video will cover everything you need to know. There are several methods for selling your cards, from online marketplaces to buy listing your cards to even just going down to your local game store. We will guide you through the process for each method while also discussing the pros and cons, how convenient each is, how much value you get, how long it takes for your cards to sell, and so forth. By the end of this video, you will know not just who to sell your cards to and how to go about doing it, but also why you might choose to sell them through one avenue versus another. Let's begin, shall we? Before we dive into how to sell your Magic cards, there's something I need to address. Folks, sometimes it's important to listen, and I mean really listen, not just to my tips and tricks for getting at Magic the Gathering, but to yourself. I am so good at this game, I'm gonna flip 2 Delvers next turn. You know you better than anyone could possibly know you. You know, knowing known knowns is how you know what you know, and more importantly, what you don't know. Why did I just keep a one-lander? Now, I should have brainstormed at the end of last turn. Knowing what you don't know helps you know what you need to know, and hopefully soon, all will be known. The known, the unknown, and the very stretches of knowability. Oh no, they're tapping out. Why are they tapping out? Focus, you're the blue player. You're supposed to be in control. Oh, I wonder if different colored cards have different flavors. I need to get some sleep. And lucky for me, there's Helix Sleep, sponsor of this video. Helix Sleep offers a wide variety of high-quality mattresses tailor-made to help you get the best night's sleep. And with March being National Sleep Awareness Month, now is a great time to think about updating that mattress of yours. We spend a third of our lives in bed, and it's important to really listen to your body if your current mattress isn't working for you. And don't worry, if you don't want to buy a full brand new mattress right now, but you are looking for a way to upgrade your existing mattress, Helix offers a selection of mattress toppers, perfect for slipping over your current mattress and slipping you off to a good night's sleep. They even offer a 120-night sleep trial to test out your new mattress or topper to help you know you've made the right decision. Plus, all their products come with a lifetime warranty. I've been a fan of Helix mattresses for years, and with their free shipping and seamless delivery, updating my mattress game has always been a breeze. If this sounds like the move for you, head on over to helixsleep.com/Tolarian to take advantage of Helix's March Madness sale and get 20% off site-wide. Link in this video's description, or better yet, scan the QR code. A good night's sleep is just a Helix mattress away, so check out the great selection of mattresses that Helix has to offer. And thank you, Helix, for sponsoring this video. There are 3 main ways to sell your Magic the Gathering cards reliably. The first is through an online marketplace such as Mana Pool. Using this method, you're selling a card directly to another player for precisely the value that you want to sell them at. Of course, you will still need to wait for a buyer to purchase your cards, but ultimately you choose the price to list your cards at. The next option is using the buy list of a large card vendor such as Card Kingdom, Star City Games, Cool Stuff Inc., and many others. Using a large card vendor's buy list is a good way to sell a bunch of cards all at once. No need to wait for a buyer to bite on each card individually. That doesn't mean there aren't many drawbacks to this method either. And still another way to sell your cards is to your local game store. This is by far the most convenient, since you will often be at the store anyway when you're playing Magic the Gathering and cracking packs. However, not every game store has the same process or even buys singles. So there are myriad factors to look out for and understand when choosing this method. To best compare and contrast these methods of selling cards, in this video, we will sell the same stack of 12 cards that you could easily have in your collection, so that you can see just how much we get for the same pool of cards and how easy or difficult the process was. This stack includes staples from several different formats, from standard to modern to commander. The total value of this stack is about $170. Let's see how much we get by using each method. Let's begin by looking at using an online marketplace such as ManaPool. Online marketplaces are where sellers, small and large, can list products for sale directly to buyers. Real human beings selling to real human beings. Here's how you would sell your cards using a marketplace, as well as the pros and cons of doing so. There are many such marketplaces, such as Card Market, which is prominently used in Europe, the well-established TCG Player, which, after being purchased by eBay, was embroiled in a union-busting controversy that resulted in the closing of their Syracuse location. There are even peer-to-peer trading sites such as CardSphere, but we will be omitting them as that is not used for actually selling your cards. For this video, we will highlight using ManaPool, simply because it is who I personally use these days, but you may use whichever marketplace you prefer. In order to sell your cards on ManaPool, you would begin by going to manapool.com and clicking on Sell. Select Sign Up Your LGS. On the sign up screen, enter your email address and a password, and check I want to sell cards on ManaPool. You'll get an email for you to log in and confirm your account creation. Then you select your profile icon and select Inventory. On your inventory screen, select Add Item and search the card you want to sell. You can select the condition, finish, language, and set your price. You can see other listed prices where you can check against conditions to see how much you want to price your card. If you have a large collection, you can even use an Import-Export button. Clicking the question mark icon next to Import will take you to a page with information about how to format your collection correctly. Importing with this method is significantly faster than individually entering a whole collection of cards. Once you've entered all of your cards, return to the inventory screen. At the top of the screen, select the option to set up your payout account. This screen will walk you through connecting a payment method so you can get money from your sales. Once that's done, there's one more step before you're ready to sell. Under the box marked Vacation, check the box Singles Are Live to make your listings visible to marketplace users. All right, let's see how much we could get for our stack of cards if we were to sell them on ManaPool. We listed all of our cards at or just below market value for each, and the total listed value of our inventory is $163.70. That's pretty close to the expected market value for our stack of cards, assuming, of course, that each listing actually sells for that amount. But remember, it's not entirely profit. Marketplaces carry fees for selling cards that come out of your sale. One reason I do prefer to use ManaPool is that they charge some of the lowest platform fees among all the various options for online vending, which currently is 5% of the total transaction. Thus, if you sell a $50 card on ManaPool, they'll take $2.50 of it, leaving you with $47.50 left in profit. Keep in mind that when you use an online marketplace, you may not be able to sell that $50 card for $50. After all, there's 20 other copies of the same card, all listed for $50, so unless it is incredibly in demand, you likely won't sell it unless you list it for $49. But other marketplace sellers know this too and will have listed their cards for $49, meaning you'll need to list yours for $48, and uh-oh, now we're in a race to the bottom. Cards can sit on marketplaces for weeks or even months before they sell, if they sell at all. For each card, you will need to keep an eye out for when it sells and then mail each one out as it sells in a timely fashion. If you have a big stack of cards for sale, then that means you have a lot of daily monitoring to do, as those cards are going to sell in various quantities over days, weeks, maybe even months. Some may not even sell unless you dramatically lower those prices. Hey, congratulations! Sounds like you kind of just got yourself a part-time job at your very own online card store. This brings me, of course, to the pros and cons of selling on an online marketplace. Pros to using a marketplace. Highest overall value. Selling online has the highest potential for maximum return on value because you typically are only paying a transaction fee, whereas other methods, as you will see in a moment, take a higher cut. Price control. Marketplaces allow you to set your own prices and adjust them as you see fit. Full inventory listings. No matter what cards or how many you are looking to sell, old or new, you can list them for their appropriate prices. Cons. No guarantee of sale. Cards may sit unsold on the marketplace for a long time. Shipping and platform fees. Depending on your marketplace, platform fees can still add up, and each card sale requires you to individually ship in a timely fashion. Shipping disputes. Online marketplaces can have disputes. While policy exists to protect both buyers and sellers, the possibility of lost items, complaints over item quality, etc. can and do still occur. Time commitment. Managing a large selection of cards requires you stay on top of market trends and constantly monitor to see what has sold and what has not, what needs shipping out, and what might need updating as a result of lack of sales. Final conclusion, online marketplaces such as Manapool offer high value, but low convenience. For me, personally, there is a certain point where I just look at a giant stack of cards that I want to sell, maybe the remnants of a season of drafting, or maybe just a pile of old cards from my storage boxes, and the prospect of listing each and every one of them on a site like Manapool, managing that giant inventory, shipping out maybe dozens, if not hundreds of orders, just becomes very daunting, even though this is likely the best bang for your buck. Now, for those looking to take that giant pile of cards and immediately get cash or credit in hand, there's two remaining options of varying effort, convenience, and financial return. For those who don't want to go through the trouble of listing each of their cards individually on an online marketplace, there is the option to sell all your cards at once using a buy list. Buy listing is selling a stack of cards to a store, usually a large one, either online or in person at a convention such as a Magic Con. Essentially, these stores have a list of set prices that they are buying cards for at near mint, and then they downgrade cards in worse condition accordingly. These prices are available to look at before you decide to start the buy list process. Many large stores offer buy lists, including Card Kingdom, sponsor of this channel. In this video, I am going to use Card Kingdom as my example for buy listing, but there are several options available to you. As always, I encourage you to make the decision that's best for you. Regardless of who you sell to, buy listing is a great way to move a lot of in-demand staples at once, or to turn large collections into cash or credit right away. Because these large stores do this all the time, the process is usually very smooth and very streamlined. Your cards will be processed quickly, and you'll be paid just as quickly. And again, Card Kingdom does sponsor this channel, but I do feel they offer some of, if not the most generous, buy list prices for those selling their cards. Their workers are unionized, which is another reason I like doing business with them. As always, compare buy list prices yourself, but to sell cards via a buy list at Card Kingdom, first go to cardkingdom.com/TCC, click on the Sell Us Your Cards button on the top, select Search Our Sell List, or use the search bar on the top to start inputting cards. On the search results page, find the exact printing of your card and select quantity. When you're ready, select Secure Checkout. If you don't have an account already, create one. You'll need to verify your email address and log into your new account to complete the process. Follow the instructions provided on your screen to finish selling your cards. Let's see how much we can get for our stack of cards using Card Kingdom's buy list. Altogether, our collection that we valued at $170 is worth $105.22 on Card Kingdom's buy list. If we opt for store credit, we would get $136.79 instead, which is a 30% bonus. The reason our total is so much lower than expected is that 3 of our 12 cards are not on Card Kingdom's buy list. The Double Master's Jace, Caretaker's Talent, and Foundation's Boros Charm. If we were to add different versions of those cards that are on the buy list and are close in market value to the ones we have, we would add another $26.55 in value, bringing our total to $131.77, or $171.30 if we opt for store credit. This can be a major drawback of using buy lists. Sometimes they just aren't buying the specific printing of one or more of the cards you're selling. And again, while we are using Card Kingdom as our example, I encourage you, implore you to shop around and see who has the best buy lists. That said, as with the other two methods in this video, there are still pros and cons with buy listing. Pros. Buy listing is direct. Buy listing sells all of your cards all in one go. No need to wait for individual buyers to bite on each individual card that you want to sell. Buy listing is reliable. You can have a sense ahead of time how much you'll get for your cards, and since you are dealing with a large reputable company, you do not have to worry about buyer complaints and related issues. Store credit. Opting for store credit over cash, something you can do with most vendors while buy listing at a convention, by the way, can give you an even better deal, allowing you to easily trade cards you don't want for cards you'll actually use. Cons. Hassle. When buy listing a large stack online, you have to input each card individually. This includes taking note of the set and the card's condition. Yes, you must do this for every single card. If you're trying to sell a stack of 20, 30 cards, this can take a lot of time. Less time than processing a bunch of individual transactions on a marketplace, but still time. Grading discrepancies. Your grading may differ from the company doing the buy listing. Buy list price is heavily contingent on condition. Once graded by the vendor, cards you thought were near mint may actually be lightly played or worse, which will bring down the price significantly. Less value on low-demand cards. Buy list vendors buy less in-demand cards for less money. Often, when using a buy list, you will have to let a lot of cards go for bulk rates, instead of getting the value you could on a marketplace. Final conclusion, buy lists offer medium value with medium convenience. My biggest issue with buy listing, be it with Card Kingdom or anywhere, is, yet again, the fact that I have to sit and manually enter each and every card and organize them in order. I often have boxes upon boxes of cards, and while many of these card sellers are happy to take them at bulk rates, I often worry about there being hidden $5 uncommons or $10 rares in that bulk pile that won't be found unless I personally go through and catalog each and every card. And that's really hard to do when I've got just boxes and boxes of cards that I'm looking to get rid of. With buy listing, there's also the possibility of disputes regarding card quality. What you consider to be near mint may not align with the trained professional inspecting your buy list pile. If you have access to a local game store near you, then trading locally at a space you trust will almost always be the most convenient option. Not all local game stores buy singles, though, and of those that do, there is a wide variety of pricing and credit options that they offer. While I cannot possibly cover every possible local game store buying process permutation, I want to show you an average experience at one of my real local game stores. I went down to one of my many local game stores, Total Games, a store that not only sells Magic the Gathering and other trading card games, but also buys and sells vintage video games. I'm kind of into retro gaming right now, so I like Total a lot. I can come in here to browse the folders of Magic singles, and also grab a few N64 games I might need for my collection as well. They've also got Yu-Gi-Oh!, Flesh and Blood. The staff is really cultivated and experience suited to gamers of every shade and background. But what is most pertinent to this video is that they buy Magic cards. Morning, I'd love to sell you some Magic cards if you're buying.
Absolutely, I can help you out right over here.
Okay, so I have these cards here, and I'm really curious how much you'll pay me for. Do you do cash as well as store credit here?
We do cash and store credit, may I?
Awesome, yeah, absolutely, please.
Huh.
What do you use to determine how much store credit versus how much cash for an order like this or any order?
I'm gonna go through your collection one by one. We're gonna find market value for each one, and then we're going to make offers based on that. Our general payouts is we do about 70% credit, 50% cash. Some of them, like Badger Mole, It's very playable in multiple formats. I'm gonna offer a little bit more on that because, well, it's a really sought after card and I know it's gonna sell very quickly.
Is there a situation where you might only offer me credit for some of the cards in that pile versus cash for all of them, or vice versa?
Sometimes, but generally no. We could do that, but you see, that's a lot of work. So normally what we do is we look at the trade as a whole. Yeah. Are we going to pay cash on this trade, or are we going to do credit on it? For instance, just the presence of a Badger Mole, unless everything else was something we really didn't want, and of course we want these cards, we would do cash on it. Occasionally, a single card will come out where we'll be like, we can't do cash on that. Because normally with cards, we just do it as a one or the other.
Okay, so what is this pile of cards worth?
Well, let's go find out. I'm gonna look up the value of each one, and then I'll get you a printout.
Awesome.
Okay, so I have an offer for you. I have, just to break this down a little bit, I have each card listed, the rarity, and then what I graded it at, so near mint, lightly played, moderate, et cetera, and then the individual credit offer and individual cash offer.
Is there anything in the store that I can't use store credit on?
The credit can be used on anything in the store, so if you want to buy more singles, you want to buy a packs, or you want to go buy a PlayStation, I can help you out with that.
So I could trade in my old N64 for Magic packs, or I could trade in my Magic cards for N64 games.
Yes, you absolutely can. Happens all the time.
What's your favorite part about owning a game store?
One of the big driving forces to opening Total was that we really wanted to make a place for the queer community to kind of go to a place where they absolutely knew they were going to be accepted. We really cultivated that feeling. It was extremely important to me that anyone could come in. Everyone from hardcore lifelong gamers to somebody who has dipped in their toes and they're very nervous to come into a game store for the first time would feel completely welcome. And that was a big motivation and still the driving force behind a lot of decisions we make.
Every local game store is going to have a different system for buying and selling cards. And while it may not always be the best deal for your cards, there's the benefit of ease that a system like Totals provides. Not to mention that I truly like that my patronage is all going to keep this part of the gaming community going and growing strong. Here's what we were offered for our stack of 12 cards. $87.75 if we took a cash payment, or $120.25 if we took a store credit, which is about 27% more. Neither of these options are close to our stack's average market value of $170. Since margins at local game stores are very thin, your LGS will likely not be able to give you as much for your cards as you'd get through an avenue like Mana Pool or Card Kingdom. However, there is the extreme convenience of just being able to go down to your local game store and drop off a big stack of cards and immediately pick up some cash or credit for them. And in addition to that added benefit of convenience, you're also supporting your local community in the process. Let's look at the pros and cons for selling at your local game store. Pros: extreme convenience. Bring a stack of cards regardless of size to the counter at your LGS, and they'll handle the rest. High trust. You hopefully have an LGS that won't rip you off. They'll give you a fair price based on what they can afford to give you. Store credit. Taking credit over cash will get you closer to the true market value of your cards. Speed. You get your cash back or store credit immediately. Zero need to mail the cards or wait for a vendor across the country to process your order. And of course, fostering community. You keep the value circulating within your local Magic ecosystem. Cons. While each local game store is going to be different, you're generally getting lower value. You'll make less money on your transaction because of the high costs necessary to keep a local game store afloat. Selling to a local game store is also less predictable. An LGS may not adhere much to market prices depending on how quickly they feel they can move the cards you sell. And of course, there's no guarantee of sale. Your local game store may not take all the cards you have, depending on their customer base. A store will have a sense of the kinds of formats their customers play. So for example, an LGS that primarily has modern players may not buy your Commander cards, and vice versa. Final conclusion: lower value, high convenience. There are, of course, many other ways you can sell your cards, but the three methods that we have highlighted in this video are the ones that we feel are the most effective for the majority of players. If you've never sold a card before, you may find the process daunting, but don't worry. If you follow the steps in this video, you'll be a seasoned card seller in no time. And I hope very much that this video has been of some help to you. You can help me out greatly just by leaving a like, a comment, or by sharing this video with a friend. While you're here, check out some of our past videos linked with the I or in this video's description, and thank you for watching.
Al pròxim episodi de Shuffle Up and Play.
Welcome to the 100th episode of Shuffle Up and Play, and I could think of no one that I would want to play with more than just fans of the shows.
Is that why we're playing, 100 card decks and all, right?
Boy, you're clever. You should have a YouTube channel. You're so smart and clever.
Well, if they ever let me out of this basement, I might be able to work on my own. But remember, I have wind energy at my disposal.
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about that.
We want Prof to attack with that just to see what happens.
Double whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, I can draw a card. That's the dynamic duo.
Understood. Shout out to piracy.
So who gonna let me hit?
Not